Welcome to plzsoccer.com, live on our YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. I'm Peter Martin. As ever, we like to bring you the up-to-date news right across the whole of the Scottish Premiership. Dundee have their press conference ahead of that match against Celtic, of course rescheduled because of the storm damage at Celtic Park. Kerry Pollock is up there. She's been talking to Tony Docherty, the Dundee manager. Kerry, first and foremost, what's the mood like in the camp after that trouncing by Hearts?
Yeah, Peter, you couldn't have said it better yourself. It was an absolute thrashing at the hands of Hearts at Dundee Park at the weekend. But Tony Docherty said himself it was completely unexpected, an anomaly of a result for them, considering the results that they've picked up so far. But what better game to get themselves back on the straight and narrow? Celtic Park tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're obviously going to try and bounce back from that. They've had a good record, to be honest with you, Kerry, against Celtic.
Yeah, they definitely have, Peter. A huge challenge. Tony Docherty and his staff and the players are, of course, aware of such talents that Celtic will possess. But you're right, just a few weeks back, that 3-3 draw at Dundee Park, taking points from Celtic, and the week before that, taking points against Rangers again. But they do have the areas of Celtic that they wish to take advantage of, and they'll have to do it in Celtic's own backyard tomorrow evening.
Yeah, and of course, every Dundee fan was looking at that transfer window and wondering if the manager was going to strengthen and if they were going to lose players. I think the main news is the pre-contract. Lyle Cameron will be heading to Ibrox in the summer. What was the feedback from the manager about Lyle's decision to opt for the move to Glasgow?
Yeah, you're right. Lyle Cameron is on his road on his way to Glasgow. Rangers pre-contract is signed. The midfielder has played his part for Dundee. He came through the youth ranks here. A stat that was read out today by Tony Docherty. Absolutely incredible. 27 goals and 108 stats. That's almost a goal every 4 games for a midfielder. But the question is, who will be that replacement? That was the worry when Luke McCowan left in August for Celtic and Lyle Cameron stepped into that position. But Tony Docherty says it's now up to the players in the building behind me, and that's the reason that he came to the club, to develop and to progress these players on to bigger and better things. But elsewhere in the transfer window for Dundee, Tony Docherty has been pleased with the business the club have been able to do so far, bringing in Adam Donnelly, who was here last season, the defender. He wants to improve his game here at the club. Cesar Garza, Armari Samuels and Victor Lopez, all looking promising aspects for the Dark Blues.
Yeah, looking forward to that game. It's a big chance for Dundee to try and get themselves, well, I think it would be hopeful to get themselves 3 points in Celtic's backyard because they're fairly dominant at home. If they got a point, I'm sure Tony Docherty would be absolutely delighted. Has he mentioned anything about the predicament they find themselves in that league table, Kerry? Because clearly every point's a prisoner for Dundee because down at that bottom half it's so congested.
Absolutely. Well, they find themselves just 4 points off the bottom, Peter, which is not a safe place to be, and it's so congested in that middle section of the league table. But Tony Docherty did point out himself today that there's 10 league games to go, and this is where it really starts to get a bit harem-scarum in terms of league places. But I'm sure we will find it a very exciting end as we get towards the end of the season and towards the end of the split as well.
You go, Kerry. Every Dundee fan will be looking, thinking, OK, Lyle Cameron's decided that he wants to go to Rangers, but he's got a job to do in that team between now and May. What about the overall team news? I think
overall team news, yes, Tony Docherty did say that Lyle Cameron is ready and to do his job for Dundee until his departure date comes around. But team news, no new injuries or knocks coming out of that Hearts game. Scott Fraser and Billy Cometto still out, but Joe Shaughnessy and Charlie Riley were involved in a reserves game up at Kilmarnock this afternoon. But no new injuries for Tony Docherty to deal with going into tomorrow evening.
OK, that's all the latest news right up to date with what was happening there at that press conference at Dundee. We'll keep you up to date with what Brendan Rodgers has to say in the Celtic press conference around about 4 o'clock, and you can catch that right across all our social media. Looked as if there was some kind of time delay there between our offices here in PLZ's soccer studios and Dundee, but I can assure you Kerry handled it well. She'll be back with more news right across the Scottish Premiership. Don't forget, you can download the app and you'll get all the breaking news that your fingertips. And if you hit that subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel, we'll be bringing you updates from press conferences, getting reaction from managers, and of course managers previewing the big games right across the whole week. And we'll have reporters out at the games in the Scottish Cup this weekend as well. But don't forget, Celtic against Dundee is tomorrow night. And a big thanks to Kerry live from the Dundee training base. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on